So here we are in what is virtually the geographic center of the building. This is a main corridor that runs through the building. To my right is the entrance that all of the children who take the bus come through in the morning. And if you go down there, you are on your way towards the major academic centers of the school. So this is really what we have taken to calling prime real estate. But I want to show you the approach to the current fitness center. This corridor is a series of unoccupied spaces. This is an old locker room, which was really the original plan for expanding the fitness center was this old locker room. And then we're going to walk down this corridor. This here is an exit to the outside. So to my left is the area that we were originally planning to expand the fitness center into, and to my right is the actual fitness center. But the existence of this exit is very important because it means that the two spaces cannot be connected because of fire code requirements, a need to be able to exit the building in an emergency. This is the door to a bathroom that no longer functions. And we are now entering the actual fitness center. Okay, so we are standing right now in the current fitness center. Approximately 1/3 of the room is occupied by equipment, generally of a weight training variety. The other 2/3 of the room is occupied by weightlifting equipment. And so what happens is the kids come in here, classes of approximately 30 to 35, and they will occupy this equipment. Unfortunately, there is not enough equipment to really accommodate the largest of these PE classes. The PE classes are typically larger than most academic classes because kids have a requirement and they have to be squeezed into those classes. And quite frankly, the equipment is much too close together to be safe. The other issue is if you look at the back of the room, you'll see the weightlifting equipment is also too close to each other. So it's just an area that is really inadequate for the functions that we're asking to go on here. Specifically, the physical education classes and even the after-school strength and conditioning training. The other thing you'll notice about the equipment that's here is that there are no treadmills, there are no elliptical machines. The problem with what we have here is that we have inadequate electrical capacity for some of the more sophisticated machines, even something as basic as a treadmill, but the Stairmasters and the elliptical machines typically are powered by electricity, and we do not have the ability in this space to do that. So we don't have space in this room for stretching and other plyometric types of exercise that would be done before or in conjunction with a strength training program. So I think that what you're looking at here is a facility that is inadequate on so many levels. This is the other exit from the fitness center, and we're going to go down another corridor that looks very much like the one we were just on. This is another restroom that no longer functions. This is another exterior exit that cannot be closed off. And as I turn right here, I'm coming down the other leg of the horseshoe-shaped corridor arrangement. Another unoccupied former locker room area. And then back out into the main corridor, which looks out onto a courtyard. To my left here is the high school library, a little way down that corridor. We have a serious shortage of library, cafeteria, and collaborative learning space. The relocation of the fitness center is actually the first step in being able to create the kind of environment that we believe students need for learning in the 21st century. So by having an adjacency to the cafeteria, which is directly below us here, and the library, which is just a short way down the hall, we would like eventually to be able to open up this space and make it a student-centered space in what is effectively the geographic center of the building. We are now standing on the first floor, the ground floor of the new gymnasium addition that was added to the building in 2004. This part of the building has boys' locker rooms to my left here and girls' locker rooms to my right. Directly behind me is a trainer's office, and this is the location that has been suggested for relocating the fitness center. So I'm going to go through this doorway into what is effectively a basement or ground floor area underneath the gymnasium. The idea of relocating the fitness center to this area was originally proposed in 2003 at the time that the gymnasium addition was being planned. At the time, the Board of Education did not feel comfortable with adding additional dollars to what was already a very large bond issue. They didn't feel that they could really afford to finish the space. And what's ironic, of course, is that the architect at that point in time said, "I guarantee you will be back in 10 years telling us that we need this space for something." And here we are. We do think this is an ideal location for the fitness center because of its proximity to the locker rooms, because of the availability of working restrooms, and because of the proximity to the trainer's office and some athletic physical education offices for staff. We are basically looking at what is not quite a raw space, but almost a raw space. The budget of $975,000 to fix this space will go for things like improving the ventilation, adding electrical capacity, putting up walls, putting in proper flooring, and putting in ceilings. We are not talking in any way, shape, or form about an elegant restoration of this space. We are basically talking about finishing the space in a very basic way. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter what you use the space for. You would actually have to build it and finish it to State Education Department building code, because anytime you put students in a space, you have to follow those rules. So what I have here to my left is an existing space that houses currently the district's old records. And we are in the process of converting those records to digital format, and we will be able to vacate this space. This over here is the main center of the space, where we will have equipment along the sides. We haven't exactly worked out a floor plan, but we are in the process of doing that. There will be equipment all along this space here. What's really nice about this space is that we actually have daylight, and this happens to be a nice day, but on any day it's always nice to have some natural lighting to complement whatever electrical lighting you're going to put into the space. The new fitness center will occupy approximately 4,500 square feet compared to the old fitness center, which occupies about 2,700 square feet. The plan is to have physical education classes down here almost every period of the day, so that there actually is supervision for students who would want to use the other equipment. The other thing to remember is that we currently already have a strength and conditioning coach on staff after school hours to work with our student athletes. Those people are certified, they have the ability to supervise students, and we would ask them to, as they have their strength and conditioning program going on, to actually be the supervisor for the entire space. So we really do believe that this can be done with little or no increase in compensation costs. So the idea is to create a center where students come down, where it's gender neutral, where students feel comfortable, both athletes and non-athletes, to come down here and take control of their own fitness and their own well-being as a component of a long and healthy life. Fitness for life is really the theme that we're talking about.
By being closer to things that kids do every day, by being right next to the gyms and the locker rooms, it will also remind kids that they should go there, that they wanted to go there after school and work out and feel healthier. rather than if it's off in the corner, then people usually forget about it, and then when they get home they're like, oh man, like I wish I went and worked out today.
I think that an inclusive environment is incredibly important for our community here, because right now you know who the athletic kids are, and we're not in a particularly athletic community, so it's very easy to tell who's athletic. I think that if we had a community spot where everyone can exercise and can just be like a more basic part of the community to be healthy.
I think if we created the Health Fitness Learning Center, more students would start going to like our school gym, and like what Chris was saying, I think it would build a sense of community, not just for athletes, but students who may not necessarily be part of a team but like to exercise and go to the gym every morning or after school would now have like an easier location for that to happen.
I think parents would also benefit from the gym because they would know that their kids are being healthy and are getting healthier even though they're not on a sports team. Because the students themselves may not be motivated, but their parents might want them to be more physically fit, and this is an easy way to do so.
If it were a little more convenient, like if it were right in the high school and if it were in a place where I could see it and I could access easily and that had a lot of space, I think I would definitely start acting on my intentions to be a healthier person.
You always learn in your health class that like you should exercise this amount per day and you should be an active person, and a lot of kids in the health class that aren't the athletes in the class realize that they want to be healthier, and so by having a better center in the school that's more inviting to them, they will want to act on that and they'd want to become healthier.
Relocating the fitness center to the space under our newest and biggest gymnasium would increase the profile of the space in our community by giving it access directly to our athletic facilities outside, as well as putting it in proximity to all of our gymnasiums in that wing of the building. It would also increase the inclusiveness of the space by adding the machines for cardiovascular fitness as well as strength training, and raise the profile of the fitness center in the minds of students, teachers, and community members, and it would display our commitment to lifelong fitness and learning.
Full extension, and then back down. Good.